Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. The Utah Utes come in at number 4 in our way too early top 25. And I know what you're thinking. That is way too high for this Utah team. The fact of the matter, though, is it's not. Utah had a remarkable turnaround in 2021, starting off the season 1-2, but then winning 9 of their last 11 games to finish 10-4 with a Pac-12 title and a narrow loss to Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. An unbelievable game, maybe one of the best games of the entire college football season. But Kyle Whittingham's squad coming into 2022 has all of the pieces not just to repeat as Pac-12 champions, but yes, to make a run for the college football playoff. This team is legit, and they have the schedule to take advantage of all the talent they have. You do not need to be sleeping on the Utes. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Ready to give you a quick breakdown over Utah, brief outlook for this upcoming season, and of course analyze their schedule and see if there is a path for Utah to repeat as Pac-12 champions and maybe finally slip in to the college football playoff. But before we do that, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course check out everything down in the description below. Taking a few seconds, guys, to hit that like button, to leave a comment, or subscribe to us to become a part of our team here at the Gridiron Expert does wonders for our channel. It helps us build up our channel more than you even know. So please take the time to do all those things. Just click a few buttons, become a part of our Gridiron Expert team, become a part of the GE Nation, and get non-stop college football content year round. So we continue to take a look at Utah, guys. Again, this is a team that had a remarkable turnaround, 1-2, including a loss to San Diego State. Everybody had written off the Utes. They won 9 of their last 11 games, including 2 blowout victories over Oregon in the regular season. One of them, that one regular season win, pretty much knocking the Ducks out of playoff contention. And then another blowout victory over Oregon in the Pac-12 title game. And then narrowly losing to Ohio State 48-45 in a Rose Bowl for the ages. And yes, they do lose guys like Devin Lloyd on defense. They lose Britton Covey at wide receiver. They lose TJ Pledger at running back. So not to say Utah doesn't lose a handful of key players from last year's squad. But overall, guys, they returned about 13 starters from last year's unit that did win 10 games. None bigger than quarterback Cam Rising, who really burst onto the scene with over 2,400 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, and also rushed for 499 yards and 6 touchdowns, starting to show off the wheels a little bit. He did that against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. He did that against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, and countless other times throughout the course of the season. This is a team that's expected to have around 6 starters back on the defensive side of the ball. Kyle Whittingham's squads typically have a very strong defense. We'd expect nothing less going into 2022. And this is the team, guys, that again is a Pac-12 favorite. For many, they are the Pac-12 favorite. And this is a team that, come November, would not surprise me at all to see them in the hunt for a college football playoff spot. But we take a look at their schedule. Is there a way for them to get there? What does the schedule look like? And who is a team, or is there a team, that could trip up the Utes, whether it's in the non-conference or in the Pac-12? Well, right off the bat, guys, you have a game at Florida in Gainesville. Kind of an Urban Meyer Bowl that's not going to feature Urban Meyer at all. You know, Urban Meyer used to be the head coach at Utah, obviously used to be the head coach at Florida, where he won a couple national championships. Obviously not going to be involved with any of these teams now. But the road game at Florida is going to be a true test for both teams. It's going to be a true test for Utah to show they are legit. They are a legitimate national title contender, playoff contender. It's going to be a great opportunity for Florida, first game under brand new head coach Billy Napier, to defend their home turf and to start kind of bouncing back after a disappointing 2021. So it's a very, very intriguing game, guys. I think for many could go either way. On paper, Utah is the better team. But season opening game, new head coach, home field advantage, the Swamp, a very difficult place to play. It's going to be tough to decide who's going to win this game. Of course, we'll have an official prediction for all these teams, but including this game here in just a few months. That Florida game going to be huge and kind of setting the tone for both teams, but to me, a bigger game for Utah than it is for Florida. Southern Utah shouldn't be an issue for the Utes. San Diego State could be. Remember, Utah lost this game 33-31 in like triple overtime last year. So they can't afford to overlook the Aztecs, who are a solid team out of the group of 5. But they get this game again at home, Salt Lake City. And if they're riding high after a 2-0 start, I think they're going to get a little revenge over the Aztecs. At least they should. The key stretch for Utah comes in from really the end of September through October 15th. So you got a 4-game stretch here of Arizona State, Oregon State, UCLA, and USC. Those 4 teams and those 4 games, I think, will really define Utah's season. And I think there's a possibility they could slip up in one of these 4 games. And if they do, you could see them out of the playoff race. The Pac-12 is getting better. We know that. But the strength of schedule for many Pac-12 teams simply has not been there, where typically one loss could keep them out over maybe, say, another SEC team, another Big Ten team, or somebody else like that. So Pac-12 teams have to watch out who they're going to lose to, but kind of like in a Notre Dame fashion, they just really ain't trying to go undefeated. So every team does, right? But for the Pac-12 especially, their strength of schedule simply isn't there as compared to some of the other conferences. But you start with Arizona State. Utah beat the Sun Devils 35-21 last year. This game would have been a little bit more interesting had Jaden Daniels still been with the Sun Devils, had Arizona State not been going through, or if they're not going through so many off-the-field issues right now. Arizona State's not in a good place, and losing their star quarterback doesn't help them. This game would have been a lot tougher, would have had more stakes being raised for the Pac-12 South had Arizona State been living up to expectations, had they not been going through these issues. But right now, I think, again, Utah would be favored in this game. But can't afford to overlook the Sun Devils, especially in the desert. Oregon State actually beat Utah last year. Oregon State, the Beavers, beat Utah 42-34. And the Beavers are doing a great job of just improving and getting better and better under Jonathan Smith. They're doing a great job of building up this program. From one that was just left for dead in the Pac-12, they finally made a bowl game last year. Yes, fell to Utah State, but still got to the postseason. And the Beavers are no longer a team in the Pac-12 that are just going to be overlooked and written up as an easy win. Utah does benefit from getting this game at home, and I think, if you're looking for common opponents that they had last year, they absolutely want revenge over San Diego State and Oregon State. The biggest 2 for me in this 4-game stretch, and this is the 4-game stretch I think is the most important and most difficult, but the biggest 2 are the last 2 at UCLA and USC, the California schools. Utah won both of these games by double digits last year, 44-24 over the Bruins, 42-26 over USC. But I will focus more on the USC game, saying that this game could be the one that determines who wins the Pac-12 South. And the fact that Utah gets to host this game in Salt Lake City is huge. USC, as we all know, Lincoln Riley coming in as the brand new head coach. Caleb Williams coming in as that quarterback transfer from Oklahoma. Expectations are very, very high for the Trojans. Some people have them as a top 10 team to start. We do not, by any means. But we do expect USC to play way better than they have in recent years under Clay Helton. That game on October 15th more than likely will determine who wins the Pac-12 South Division. It's going to be huge, huge, huge. And Utah benefits from having that game at home. Let's keep that in mind. Again, I know it's not deep analysis right now, guys. We're going to have deeper analysis and game-by-game predictions for every single one of these teams here in a few months. So we'll dive deeper into who will win that game here, again, later on this summer. You get out of that bye week, though, guys, and the back half of that schedule, those last 5 games aren't tough. Washington State, a team that's drastically going to improve. We have high expectations for, but still might be a little ways away, especially with the brand new head coach in Jake Dickert. Utah beat them by 11 last year. Arizona, kind of the bottom feeder of the Pac-12 right now. Utah only beat them by 9. The games in Salt Lake City, could see that game being a little bit wider of a margin this year. Stanford, Utah won that game 52-7 last year. I do not see necessarily a 45-point swing. At Colorado in the season finale, they beat them by 15 last year. It's the Oregon game on the road that's key. It's the Oregon game on November 19th. That's the big one. Utah beat the Ducks 38-7 in the regular season, then a few weeks later beat the Ducks 38-10 in the Pac-12 championship game. The Ducks have a brand new head coach in Dan Lanning. They've got some quarterback questions right now. We expect the defense to be pretty solid. If the Ducks could just put together a solid offense, they might be solid. They might be solid in terms of winning the Pac-12 or maybe even getting to the playoff. I'm not ruling anything out for Oregon. But the Ducks are going to want revenge on this. Back-to-back blowout losses to the Utes. Stole the Pac-12 title away from them. The game is in Eugene. This is one of the toughest games on Utah's schedule, without a doubt. And while it might not determine who wins, the Pac-12 as a whole, this could be a preview of the Pac-12 championship game. Because at this point, if Utah is undefeated, or maybe one loss, maybe that loss comes to Florida, who knows? Utah might be very close to wrapping up the Pac-12 South. They've wrapped it up by this point anyways. Who knows? So the Oregon loss might not affect them in terms of getting to that Pac-12 championship game, but it could affect them when it comes to the playoffs. And how bittersweet would it be for Oregon to end Utah's playoff hopes after the Utes did the same to the Ducks just last year. So we've seen some not classic games between these two teams, but we've seen games that have drastically affected the other seasons over the last few years. That includes last year, that includes a few years ago when they met in the Pac-12 championship, where Oregon torched the Utes. Had the Utes won that game, they would have been in the playoff. So stakes will be very high on November 19th, and Utah, unfortunately, does not benefit from getting this game at home like they did last year. So overall, guys, this schedule is not horrible. Really, it's not. That key 4-game stretch from September 24th to October 15th is going to be big. I think if you had to rank the biggest games, not necessarily in any order, but it is the USC game and it is the Oregon game. Arguably the top team in the Pac-12 North in Oregon and Utah's top competitor in the South in USC. One comes on the road, one comes at home. Those are the two big ones, and you're going to have a really good idea of what this Utes team is all about right out of the gate, week 1, when they travel to Gainesville to take on a Florida team that, again, wasn't great last year, but was looking to turn things around. Not an easy environment, but all I'm going to say again, guys, is Utah is legit. We have them ranked 4th for a reason. It's not a hoax. It's not a fluke. It's not to make you laugh, not to make you, freak out. Utah is legit. Utah is legit. And they are a college football playoff contender. They've got the coach and the talent and the schedule to do it. And we will be talking about them come November. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. Again, we want you to join our team here at the Gridiron Expert. So please continue just to hit those buttons. It just takes you a few seconds to join our team, to become a part of the GE Nation so you can receive college football content year-round. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.